You are watching Terence Da Spoken on YouTube. And remember to like, share, and subscribe so you get your daily updates. Enjoy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Tea Corner. And today we got a special guest here. We got Mr. Eran Hafner here in the building, and he gonna talk about some stuff that he's doing, and being bullied and stuff like that. He got an awesome story, so let's give him the floor right now. So here he is. Mr. Eran Hafner, right here on the Tea Corner.
Hello and good morning, everybody.
Hello, how you doing today?
Very good. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for hosting me.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, tell us a little something about yourself.
Well, when I was born, I was really small, but that's not the reason why we came to talk here. I have a very, very unique life story, and I'm very thankful for that. I'm a magician, and I've been doing that since I was a kid. It's actually started as a rehab. I started that in a rehab after a car accident when I was younger. I used to be an athlete. So let's put things from the beginning, because you talked about bullying. So when I was young and went to first grade, we went to a new city and I didn't know anybody. And yes, I was bullied in first grade. And I remember that because I didn't want to go to school. And at that point, I saw a demonstration of a new activity in this small town that I used to live in. And it was judo, martial arts. And I decided I need to learn that in order to protect myself. So that started one journey in my life, and I really loved it, and I became really good at it. That I was part of the junior national team, in judo.
Yes, indeed.
And then one day, I was riding my bicycle to a practice, and a car crashed into my dreams. I was in the Olympic team. I was supposed to be in the Olympic Games. And all of a sudden you find yourself, on a wheelchair, learning to walk all over again, all the rehab and everything that is involved. And I can definitely say it was the toughest year of my life. But, and that's a big but, I am a person that always look for what I can do, not focusing on what I cannot do. And by the way, this is part of the thing that I help people that come to me for private coaching or therapy, because my master is in NLP, in hypnotherapy, and timeline therapy. And I help people to clean negative emotion and deal with limiting beliefs and really change their life completely. And I will share some stories about that soon. But the main thing is that my state of mind is always focus on what I can do, not on what I missed, not on what I cannot, but always on what I can do. And part of the rehab, I saw a magic show. We went to see a magic show, and I fell in love with magic, and I decided I want to become a magician, and I did. So I started to learn magic and practice magic. And when I was in high school, I actually flew to London to a class of magic with one of the greatest magicians in the world. And it was a great week to spend with him. But what I took the most out of this training with him is that in the end of the week, he told me, Eran, if you want to be a great magician, there are 4 rules of magic that you must learn. And you know what? After he taught me those 4 rules of magic, I really think that those 4 rules are rules for life. And the funny thing is that when I was studying NLP 20 years ago, started in the journey of in NLP and hypnosis, one of my friends, one of my colleagues told me, Eran, you know what, when you talk, I see a pattern in the way that you talk. When you are passionate about something, when you want to do something, when you want to learn something, you always say, I must own this skill. I must own this skill. You never say, I want to learn. You never say, I need to. You say, I must own this skill. You say it when you talked about your magic, when you talked about judo, when you talked about NLP, when you talked about everything that you do, when you talk about surfing that you decided to learn in the middle of your life. You must own this skill. And this is my approach basically for everything, because I believe that when we want to do something and we set up our mind and intentions on doing that, and we understand that we have to invest 3 things in order and put 3 things on the table in order to get better at what we want, then it changed our lives. And what we need to put on the table when we want to achieve something and be greater at something, those 3 things is, number one, I need to put the time to learn, to practice, to get better at whatever it is that I do. Number two, I have to put the effort. Time alone is not good enough. I have to put 120% effort. And number three, I have to put money on the table, because it doesn't matter if it's learning to surf, then I need to buy a surfboard. If I want to go to the gym, then I need to pay for a membership for the gym. It doesn't matter what I want to achieve. I need to put those 3 elements on the table: time, effort, and money. Which, by the way, bring me back to the 4 rules of magic. And rule number 1 in magic is practice. And rule number 2 in magic is practice some more. And then we have rule number 3, which is really, really important and crucial. Practice until you make it perfect. And then rule number 4, come to summarize everything, keep practicing. I really think that this is the key to success in life, in whatever it is that we do. And when we do something from the right passion, from the right intentions, then it's become pure, and it become something that we wake up in the morning and want to do it. You know what I mean? And when this is the way that we live our life with passion, our life seems totally different. And here I want to say something that my dad taught me when I was younger. He taught me that there are 2 days in the year that you cannot do anything. Do you know those 2 days?
Nah, because I'm thinking about holidays, and the only 2 days that I think of that people really don't want to do nothing per se as far as work is, well, actually in America I think it's 3, because you got Labor Day, you got Christmas, and you got New Year's. Because
Right, but
Uh,
what if you're not Christian? Then you can do whatever you want, right?
yeah, yeah, you can do whatever you want to.
But there
Yeah.
are still 2 days in the year that you cannot do anything, no matter what you are, where you live, or what is your religious.
Mm-hmm.
And those 2 days is yesterday and tomorrow.
Ah, gotcha.
I cannot do anything yesterday, and I cannot do anything tomorrow. When
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow arrives and I do it, it's right now. And that's the reason why I put special glasses that I keep asking myself regarding my business, regarding my personal life, regarding my relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I keep asking myself, what else I can and should do to put another brick in my dream, to build
Mm-hmm.
another brick into my dream.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start to think this way, you start to become more productive, and you start to become more creative. And the beautiful thing about this way of thinking is that you never have anyone to blame for anything. It's all what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
What can I do to make my business better, my life better, my relationship better? It's all about taking responsibilities. And from working over 2 decades with clients on one, I realized that most people have a challenge of taking the responsibility, and they blame the spouse, the kids, the economy, the boss, the whatever it is, the president, whoever it is,
Mm-hmm.
the COVID. But in reality, I know that when we take responsibility on our action, and when we take responsibility on what I can do and not looking at others, then I know that I preserve the power to really create a change in my life. Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Oh yeah, it makes perfect sense because you know what's funny? It's funny that today of all days is when I'm doing an interview with you
Hmm.
because literally about 5 hours ago, 5 or 4 hours ago, give or take, I just got done telling somebody exactly what you just said. Literally. You can't worry
Synchronicity.
about the past. All you can do
Synchronicity.
is focus on the present to set up for the future.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I'm just over here listening to you because what caught my eye when I read your profile was that you used to be bullied and stuff because I used to be bullied too. And I'm changing like my podcast style. It's not actually changing it, but it's pretty much putting like mental health in the forefront and stuff
Hmm.
because people that's been bullied, later on you find out that hey, you got some stuff that you got to work on or something work out because of that trauma or something. And
True.
it's just a blessing that you came on of all days on today to do this interview with me because it's going on. It's going with what I just got done telling somebody else. So when I air this out, they gonna be like, I'm gonna be like, yo, it's not just me saying it. It's everybody that's ever been in your position.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you can't look back at the past. The past is done. It's already set up. All you can do is just focus on today to build a
True.
better tomorrow. But sometimes it's like talking to that wall when they ain't ready to change.
And you know what? That's absolutely true. And I tell you more than that. It doesn't matter how the game started.
Mm-hmm.
It matters how it ends. You know,
Exactly.
and and if we take the responsibility and the accountability, then
Mm-hmm.
we have control on changing the end of the game, of
Oh yeah.
writing our own story. And you know what about bullying? When people are bullied or when people are going through trauma, doesn't matter if it's in their early childhood or later on in their life.
Mm-hmm.
I've been dealing with the power of the mind. I'm a mentalist, and I specialize. My master is in hypnotherapy, in timeline therapy. I study the brain and how it affects our behavior for over 2 decades. And the amazing thing is that when someone is going through trauma, the unconscious mind create new set of rules, okay, at the
Mm-hmm.
moment of the trauma. And those set of rules that are being determined by the unconscious mind are there in order to protect us, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened most of the time, those rules were good at the time of the trauma, but 5 years later, 10 years later, 30 years later,
Mm-hmm.
those rules are not serving any good purpose anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't change our perspective around that, okay, then we keep suffering from behavioral and thinking patterns, okay, that are not taking us to where we want to be. And that's exactly what I do with my clients.
Mm-hmm.
I have a I don't know how to call it, but it's a service that I do with the people, and I call it reprogram your mind to success. And
Mm-hmm.
in this program, it's about 10 hours. And in this program, what I do, I have like 50 questions that I ask the person. And by the end of the time that I finish to ask those 50 questions, not just that I know the person better than he does, but all of a sudden he knows himself from different perspective as well. And it brings everything to the surface. And then what we do, we start to clean all negative emotion. So I focus on the first five that are everybody has them, which is
Mm-hmm.
anger and sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt. So I clean all of those. And after that, we're dealing with figuring out limiting beliefs and limiting decision that a person has around his life, around his career, around his family, around
Mm-hmm.
himself, and start to clean that in order to build more self-confidence, And
Mm-hmm.
once we finish with this process, the beautiful thing that my clients say, Eran, I don't know. I cannot put my finger on what has changed. It just everything is different. And the beautiful thing about it, that everything is different, is because our perspective is completely changed. And we create now new rules in our state of mind, in our unconscious mind, that will help us to be more creative, that will help us to be more productive, in whatever it is that we do, in whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is that we do. And that's a really life-changing program for people, because when we finish with it, then we start to set smart goals and create an action plan how to achieve the desired outcome of my client. And this is a really a life-changing experience.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. I, you know what? I should have had you on the live because this would have been excellent for today. Because you know, I had always believed in like the universe will always answer if you ask the question. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? So I had a good friend of mine's ask me a question and they going through it, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And they think that everybody is against them. And I'm like, no, not everybody's against you. No, we know you got people helping you out here. Hey, how you doing? So I'm trying to get them to like open their eyes and see and stuff like that. But they so caught into their situation that they just like refuse to see those that's helping them and stuff. I'm like, Nah,
You know what?
nah. I was like this, yo, universe, God, I need for you to send somebody that's gonna be explaining it to them better than I can explain it. And then all of a sudden, out of being, here you are.
So let me try to give an explanation for that, because I'm really good at manifesting things into my life. One day my son
Yeah.
asked me, Dad, how do you manifest everything that you want all of a sudden come into your life?
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that? So I told him, first of all, there is a way how to put yourself in synchronicity, with the vibration of the universe and God.
Mm-hmm.
And about a month ago, I was interviewed in a podcast called Success After Trauma.
Yeah.
And I was talking over there a little bit about my morning routine. Then they invited me to a private group to talk about my morning routine in more depth. But
Mm-hmm.
before I explain my morning routine and how it's important, to maintain a positive and creative state of mind, I
Mm-hmm.
want to share something. And it's a joke. Okay. But this
Mm-hmm.
joke, it's a joke that really makes the point clear. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing: the unconscious mind, which is an extension of God and the universe, okay, and
Mm-hmm.
God and the universe, they do not understand negativity, okay? They don't
Mm-hmm.
understand negativity. They only understand positivity, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say that I say, I don't want to live in poverty anymore,
Mm-hmm.
okay? What does the universe hear? What does the unconscious mind hear? What does God hear?
Mm-hmm.
If you take off the don't, write down the sentence, I don't want, and cross the don't, what stays? I want to live in
Mm-hmm.
poverty. Okay? Now, here's the thing: God and the unconscious mind and the universe, they want to give us what we want in the fastest and least effort way.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to know how to talk to the universe in order to get it. So the story goes like that. There was a guy, he came back from work, and in the evening he goes to the gym. And on the way back from the gym, he's walking home, and all of a sudden he found the lamp from Aladdin. He picked up
Mm-hmm.
the lamp, and genie is coming out from the lamp.
Mm-hmm.
And genie tell him, thank you for releasing me. You have one request, whatever you want, I'll do it for you on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
So the man look at him, are you serious? Yes, I am serious. But remember, you only have one request. So think good. What is it that you want? So the guy tells him, okay, give me a few minutes. Said, that's okay. Take your time. I enjoy the air outside. And he go back and forth, and he think to himself, what can I ask for? What can I want? I have good business. I have good money. I have good wife, good kids. I have houses. I have cars. I have vacations. I have everything a man can ask for. What can I want? And then he come to Genie and he tell him, I know what I want. And Genie looks at him and he tells him, are you sure? That's what's going to make you happy? He says, yes, that's what's going to make me happy. He
Mm-hmm.
said, tell me what it is and I'll make it happen on the spot for you. Now, excuse me for my French. The guy
Mm-hmm.
look at Genie and tell him, I want my dick to touch the ground. Boom! Genie cut his leg. Question: did he get what he asked for?
Yep.
Did he get what he wanted?
Well, technically, he got what he wanted,
That's not what he wanted, though.
but that's
That's
not
what
the
he
way he
asked for,
wanted.
literally.
Yeah.
But that's not what he wanted. And that's the big paradox of people. They ask for something, they get what they ask for, and
Yeah.
they are mad because they didn't get what they wanted. But they didn't ask for what they want.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest paradox. And that's what I teach people to do, a shift in their mind. And that's why when I send you my bio, and I didn't write this bio, one of my clients did.
Mm-hmm.
architect of transformation. He called me this way, and I loved it because I really help people transform the way they think. And when
Mm-hmm.
you transform the way you think, automatically you transform your behavior, your results, your relationships, your health, or your finances. You
Mm-hmm.
automatically change everything in your life.
Mm-hmm. And I grew up with a saying that's similar, very similar to what you said. And my dad used to always tell me this. He said, "Son, be careful for what you wish for, because you might
Because you
fool
might
around
get
and get it."
right. True.
And as a kid, you're like, be careful for what I wish for. What do you mean? Be careful what I wish for. Man, I wish for cars. I wish for I want to be a millionaire. I want to have all these cars. I want to have this big house. But then when I got older, I started thinking like a wise man. I'm like, so I say I wanted a mansion, but I already know me. Well, I'm going okay, if it's 4 rooms, that's perfect. What I'm gonna do with 6 or 10 rooms? They all gonna be empty. So
It's
there
funny
goes the
that you
mansion idea.
it's funny that you said it because I saw an interview with Shaquille O'Neal not too long ago, and he
Yeah,
has a house in Florida, 70,000 square feet home. Okay, and
yeah.
the the guy asked him, "Tell me, Shaquille, how many rooms are you using in the house?" He said, "Beside the basketball court, I only use the living room, the kitchen, and my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
That's about maybe 1,000 square feet altogether out of
Mm-hmm.
70,000 square feet of a home." I'm a
Mm-hmm.
contractor. I I used to have a construction company, and I built
Mm-hmm.
a house. My last project that I finished a few years back was I built a mansion, 20,000 square feet home here in Calabasas in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was sold for like $30 million. And when I
Mm-hmm.
was building this, my son came with me to work one day and tell me, "Dad, do you want to live in this house that you are building?" I said, "No, I don't." He said, "Why not? It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's big." I said, "It's just too big. How I'm going to find you? You're going to get lost. In order to find you, I have to call you inside the house. I have to trace you everywhere. If I want to go from the living room to the bedroom, I need to get an Uber. No, thank you. No, thank you."
Nah, yeah, and that's how I am now. I'm like, as a grown adult now, I'm like this. I'd rather have land in a smaller house on top of that land. I'd rather for me to have land than a big giant house, because with land you could do a lot with that. You could grow your own fruit, you could grow your own vegetables, have the fruit on one end of the land, then drive on the other end of the land, be like, okay, this is where my vegetables is at. If you want to have a store, you can have a store built right here. I'm like, and it took me a long time to understand why, like, because I grew up around the older generation, and it was always saying, when you get older, get you some land. It's very important. Get you some land. And I was like, well, now why they tell me get some land? When on TV they saying get this brand new car right here. They said, forget the car, get the land. So when I became an adult, I'm like, oh, now I get it. Now I get it.
True. You know
So
what? You're talking about land and vegetables, so I want to tell you a story.
yeah.
In my house, in the backyard, I have a small vegetable garden that I grow with my kids. We have like
Yeah.
cucumber, tomatoes, some herbs, green peppers, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And every day we just water it. And one day when my son was about 7 or 8 years old,
Mm-hmm.
we were watering the garden, and I asked him, "Ariel, how does this tomato know to grow and become a tomato? Every time the same color, the same shape, the same taste. How does she know? We only give her water, I mean, we can tell her, become a cucumber, but no, she will grow to become a tomato. How does she know?
Mm-hmm.
Then he looked at me and he said something really, really funny that caught me by surprise. He said, Dad, of course she knows. Don't you remember when we bought the seeds pack? It says tomato, and there was a picture of tomato. That's how she knows.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it's a brilliant answer from a 7-year-old boy,
Yeah.
but then I told him, you're absolutely right. There was the picture and it says tomato, but the seeds, they don't have eyes. They don't know how to read. And still they know to grow and become tomatoes. How
Mm-hmm.
do they do that? He looked at me and said, I don't know. Then we picked up some vegetables. We went to make dinner, omelet and a salad. And then in the middle of dinner, my son called me and tell me, Dad, I know. I said, you know what? I know how the tomato knows to grow and become a tomato. He said, how? And he looked at me and he really told me something that I was shocked. He tells me that she listened to her inner voice. And when you listen to your inner voice, you always know what is the right thing for you to do.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at him, whoa, where did it came from? And I told him that's absolutely right. When you listen to your inner voice, you always know what is the right thing to do. And that's how you grow and become a tomato every single time. That's how you perform at your peak every single time. When you
Mm-hmm.
go to your deeper values and listen to the inner voice, that will make you and me and everybody else always prefer to do the right thing over the cool thing. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Oh yeah, it makes perfect sense because just like you, I grew up in sports and stuff. So all of this that we talking about,
Mm-hmm.
it is something that I learned through bowling, through when I tried to attempt to do track, do the track and field, I'm not getting on the track. No, I was too big. I was too big of a boy to get on the track. I'm throwing the shot put and the discus. I'm staying in my element.
Yeah.
But like coaches would tell you the same thing. And my dad, he was a coach when I was growing up as a little kid. And he used to tell me all the time, always know inside your heart what you want to be, because you will not derail from that. Always listen to your inner spirit.
True.
And, as life goes on and you become a teenager and stuff, you want to try many things. You want to do this, you want to do that, you want to do whatever. But then when you get older, you start learning how to meditate and how to settle yourself and start to listen to your inner self. And you're like, yo, let me try this out. Oh, okay. So that first step was easy. Now let me try this second step. Oh, well, hold on, that's a little wobbly. Let me find my balance. Okay, the second step, I'm good. Then you start doing the third step and then fourth step, and then once you know it, you're running a mile. And
True.
my dad used to break it down to me, because like another reason why I got picked on and bullied was because I had brain surgery when I was at the age of 7, and they had to put me on heavy amounts of steroids, so it made me blow from a little kid into this big kid because of the steroids and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So kids would be kids, and they used to bully me, make fun of me and stuff like that. And my dad just pulled me to the side one time. He said, "Like, when you ready, you gonna learn how to listen to your inner self and know exactly what you want to be in life. Don't listen to the crowd. Don't listen to the peanut gallery. Listen to yourself." The
You know what?
same thing. The same thing he used to tell his players. But go ahead.
Absolutely. And
Mm-hmm.
last week, somebody asked me a really beautiful question. He
Mm-hmm.
asked me, Eran, what advice would you give to yourself at 15 years old? Well, now that I'm 48, if I had a chance to meet with myself at 15, I would definitely tell myself, keep dreaming, keep chasing your dream, and don't listen to the people that tell you that the sky are going to fall, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy that I did it, you know? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
happy that I was chasing all my dreams. And I'm happy that until today, even, 3 years ago when I was 45, in my birthday, I sat in the morning with my coffee and I asked myself, Eran, what do you want for a present? At 45, what do you want? And I decided that I want to learn surfing.
Mm-hmm.
At the same moment, just like everything else, when I want to learn, I say, I must learn this skill. At the same moment, I went on Facebook, on Marketplace, found the surfboard, went and got it, and went surfing. Of course, I couldn't surf because I don't know how,
Mm-hmm.
but I made the first step. I
Mm-hmm.
had no anticipation, to succeed surfing, in my first day. But I went to
Mm-hmm.
the beach. I tried. I gave it my best. I couldn't do it. So I sat on the beach, took a video of the surfers over there. I still have this video. And I promised to myself, by the end of the summer, I will stand on the board.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said in the beginning, when you want to achieve something in life, you need, you must invest time, effort, and money.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought myself a surfboard. That's the money.
Oh yeah.
I scheduled time in my calendar twice a week to go to the beach at
Mm-hmm.
3 p.m. Close the business, close the office, go to the beach
Mm-hmm.
twice a week. And when I went to the beach, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
watched YouTube videos. I was talking to other surfers to teach me how to do that pop up, to teach me how to do this, how to do that. And I put it in my mind that that's what I'm going to practice today. And the next time I'm going to practice something else. But every time I came to the beach, to the water, I had in mind what I'm going to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard a lecture by Jeff Van Gundy one time.
Mm-hmm.
You know who's Jeff Van Gundy, right?
Um.
He
I,
used
I.
he used to be he used to be the U.S. Basketball team coach. He's
Oh,
a
okay.
basketball coach, and he was asked if how he motivates his guys, to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, you know what? I never talk to them about winning the games. I talk to them about winning every possession, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's offense or defense. Give your best. Give 150% on every segment of 24 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And when they ask him why does he do that, he said, because when I will win more possessions, offense and defense, a great side effect will be winning the game. But it's easier for the players to focus and give their best 24 seconds than to think about giving 150% for 48 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So when they give the best at every segment of the game, the end results will be winning the game. And I
Yes.
think that also in life, and I also help my client to do the same, which is breaking their goals and breaking their dreams into small, doable actions.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's a small and doable action, I will be motivated to do that because I can. If it will be something big that I can't imagine myself even doing, it can act exactly the other way and be a self-sabotage. Oh, maybe I'm not good enough. Oh, maybe it's not for me. Oh, maybe this. Oh, maybe this. But when you break it into small actions, to baby steps, what I call, then we can do, me, you, any of our listeners, basically can do anything they want and that they put their mind into.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if I decide today that I want to run a marathon, I cannot go and run a marathon today. I'm not in the shape. But if I will, and by the way, I found a nice app. It goes from couch to 10K to marathon.
Nice.
And it gives you really baby steps of how to start to practice when you're on sitting every day, all day, and you're not in shape. And when I started to do this program, I told my son, come with me. And he came with me on the first time. And he told me, Dad, are you serious? This is going to make you run a marathon? That's ridiculous. Because the first training, the first exercise was run 30 seconds, walk 1 minute. Run 30 seconds, walk 1 minute. Repeat it 6 times. So totally you ran 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that everyone can do, to run 30 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But to
Oh yeah.
run 3 minutes or 10 minutes, not everybody can do. But when they
Okay.
break it into small steps, achievable steps, then all I had to do is put my time and my effort
Mm-hmm.
and be committed to really do it every other day, like the app tells you to, like the
Oh
plant
yeah.
tells you to.
Oh yeah. And that actually does work. And for before I get started on that statement, I misunderstood what you said. You said Jeff Van Gundy. I was like, oh, you talking about Jeff Van Gundy? Yeah, I know who Jeff Van Gundy is. I was like, I kept on listening to what you said, and you said NBA. I'm like, well, there's only one Jeff I know in NBA. Is oh man, okay, all right. But what you was talking about, the couch to 5K
Yes,
is
couch to
fact
5K.
because these apartments that I used to live in, just around the bend was like a walking park. It had like even an incline hill and stuff, like for you to go oversee, the whole entire park and stuff. Many people would go up there, just gaze at the whole city and stuff, because you could see like the city and the other big city like Fort Worth. If you look far enough into the distance and stuff, you can see it. But it was an aerial view that was breathtaking. But I used to take this walking park, and I used to walk at first. And then one day I said, you know what? Let me see how far I can go with just running. And first I can only go just a short distance, like if you're doing a sprint, like straight down, and that was it. And so I was like, tomorrow I'm gonna try it again. Let me see if I can go a little bit further. Then go far on the next day, But the following day, I was able to go a little bit farther than where I stopped. So now inside of me, it became a challenge. Okay, next week, if I'm over here, I want to be in this location, still running. And if I make it over here, it's going to be good.
And you
So,
know what?
mhm,
It's great that you say that. I want to add something here. When
mhm,
you start to think how it will make me feel when I do that, when I achieve that, you know,
mhm,
these feelings will act as an extra boost of motivation,
mhm,
to why actually go through the hard time and do what you want to do, because the way it
mhm.
will make you feel in the future,
Yes,
because
indeed.
how proud you're going to feel.
Hmm. And it was just, and so when you was talking about that, about the app and stuff, and I didn't know nothing about the app. I was just naturally doing it.
Hmm.
And I'm like, yo, how come that reminds me when I was at my first apartment? And I'm like, you kept on talking. I'm literally replaying what I used to do and stuff. I was like, was somebody in the bushes looking at me and then writing a book? Because I used to go out every day, like, okay, let me just try to see where I'm at. Let me see where I'm at. And it came to a point where after a month and a half, I used to run from the starting point to halfway around the park. And to me, that was the greatest accomplishment in the world. You could have said, hey, I won the Super Bowl. You could have said, I won the NBA Finals. I was just, my ego was up here. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm back. Because it was an accomplishment
Yeah.
that just a month ago I was not able to do, but I just stayed fast, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. No, I'm
and
going to
that
accomplish
shows
this.
and that shows you and everyone
Hmm.
that consistency is the key for success.
Hmm. Yes, indeed.
Nobody succeeded at their first try, at the first time that they do something. Nobody.
Ah, I
But if
can
they
be on.
keep practicing and keep doing and keep putting the effort, we are getting better. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter what are my beginning skills are. If I
Hmm.
will do something 1 hour every day for a month, I will be much better that a month away from now. If I
Hmm.
will keep doing that for a year, I will be a lot better.
Hmm.
And it doesn't matter what it is.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What we about to get to that the moment of the show where I call it the credentials, where you tell people where they can come see you and get more information from you. But so I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the board right now so that they could be able to write it down and be able to follow you. And you could go ahead and give them your Instagram, give them your
Everything is
Instagram,
State of Mind
Facebook.
Academy. Everything
Oh,
is State of Mind Academy on Yelp, on Google, on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. State of Mind Academy, or my name, Eran Hafner. And that's how you can find me. The best number to reach me if somebody wants to give me a call, it's 424-999-0919.
all right, y'all. And with
Feel
that
free
being
to go
said,
to drop me a line or give me a call or send me an email with every question or challenge that anyone has. The email is info@stateofmindacademy.com, and I'll be more than happy to assist everyone, to my best ability. And by the way, soon I'm going to open a weekly group coaching that we will work about setting smart goals and accountability and all of that. So if somebody wants to get more information about that, please shoot me an email and I will get back to you guys.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, y'all, with that being said, with that being known, I want to wish y'all a very blessed day. And till next time, this CEO, that's my Twitch name. You know what? It's already been a long day. This is Terence Da Spoken King. Sign out. One love, one dream, and I'll see y'all next time.